Hi, Errants. Julia here, recording this on July 19th, 2022, or the year 5916, Annus Mundi, if you will. And errants, if you don't know that term, it's a term that Jason at Archaics uses to talk about people, to describe people who have empathy, imagination, and intuition. Believe it or not, some people don't have those attributes, and I think we generally refer to them as NPCs or non-player characters. But yeah, errants, we have intuition, we have imagination, we have empathy, and we don't just follow along blindly to whatever authority tells us to do. In fact, we're pretty much the type of people that if somebody tells us to do something, we're going to probably do the opposite. So yeah, and most people have heard the term, that's errant behavior. So yeah, here we are, errants in the year 2022. So what I wanted to talk about was owning up to your mistakes and not just playing the victim when it comes to the outcomes in your life. Because if you really examine the situation, whatever it is, you'll notice that you had a huge part in manifesting that outcome. So sometimes we have to really look at ourselves and be like, okay, yeah, I did have a part in that. And learn from, that mistake. Because that's really what mistakes are lessons. But if you don't notice the mistake, of course, you won't get the lesson. So yeah, you have to own up. And I know 20 years ago, it's hard to believe it was that long, when I got divorced, I played total victim. And yeah, my ex did have an affair outside of the marriage and all that kind of stuff. But nevertheless, I had a huge part in all of that. In fact, I manifested that outcome because from the beginning of our relationship, which was an 18-year relationship, I always said that when he hit his midlife crisis, he would leave me for a younger woman. Said it all the time, I thought it all the time, I believed it, and it happened. But that's not the only way that I was part of the problem. At that point, I was addicted to pharmaceutical drugs. I was very depressed. And when you're depressed, you don't have a lot of gratitude and not easy to be around. So yeah, and in hindsight, I'm really glad it happened because I can't even imagine still being in that relationship at this point in my life. But initially when it happened, I was all victim, and it's all I talked about, how I was so wronged, etc., etc. But I did have a part in it. So whatever hardships or challenges you're having in life, you really need to examine and see what part you had in that. Even if it was just that you always thought it was going to happen. So, yeah, owning up to your part in situations is definitely something to do. And examining what those actions were that got you to that point so you don't have to go through them again. You don't have to go through that struggle again. All right. So own up to your responsibility and your plight in life. And be sure you always keep your mind on the way you want things to be, not on how you don't want them to be. Because, man, things really do manifest. And that's happened my entire life. Whether it was something negative I knew was going to happen, thought about it all the time, that manifested. Or if it was something I really wanted, that always manifested too. So be really careful about where your energy goes. And focus on what you want. You know, we're at that point, we really can't get the whole collective on the same page. And even if we could, I don't think it would work to change the paradigm with positive thinking, you know, worldwide, because prophecies have to be played out. You know, if Jason's correct and Tom Campbell's correct that we live in a simulation, that's pretty cool in the fact that, as Tom Campbell puts it, we can modify future probability with our intent. So, you know, that's how manifestation works. And of course, Jason says this simulation is due to end. And just, I think it's 156 years from now in 2178. So, yeah, we just have to really focus on our individual reality and make sure it's pleasant for us and anyone who's around us. I know that sounds selfish, but really that's all we can do at this point. There's not a lot else we can do except, you know, of course, we can always help other people when we have opportunity. You know, we need to exercise our empathy and be compassionate and caring and sharing when it's necessitated. But, you know, just stay focused on your little world. Don't try to fix all the problems out there, and see how things play out. It's so interesting and so fun to me. You know, it's like we're in this really cool game, and we're really prime players in it. And there's just surprises around every corner. You never know what you're going to see. And sometimes, yeah, it seems like it's a long time. But, you know, just, again, stay focused. Where attention goes, energy flows. So put your attention on what you want to manifest. All right. That's about it for today. Thanks for listening. And I'll talk to you next time. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Ciao, ciao.